I am Jen Mulvihill on a quest to find indie inspirations from around the world. And with me right now is Clint Till. His film, The Milky Way, is going to be at the Magnolia Independent Film Festival in Starkville, Mississippi on Thursday, the 23rd. Hi, Clint.
Hi, thanks so much for chatting with me.
How are you doing?
Pretty good, doing good. Excited to get down to the film festival again this year.
Yeah, you've been there before, huh?
Yeah, just one other time. I had a short film that screened in 2020 called Hangry, and was super impressed. And just hate that everything kind of shut down with COVID and all that, but thankful to be able to come back.
Oh yeah, and I saw that film, by the way. That's a really good one too.
Yeah, thanks.
Um, so tell me a little bit about the Milky Way. Let me just say, how can you take normal everyday, non-normal events and make them extraordinary?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of there's that's the thing. Everything that is in the Milky Way is pretty much autobiographical to me and my wife when we became parents for the very first time. And it's from the perspective now, years later, when you can look back and laugh at all the experiences that you had, but during the moment it was extremely stressful and difficult. So I think there's a level of exaggeration that you have to put in. And I think, with the Milky Way, I wanted to feel as though you're watching a play. And with any kind of live theater, you're always playing to the back of the house. And so I had that in my mind when I was writing the script, when I was directing the actors, like, let's just play it bigger, project it to the back of the house, and make it feel a little bit over the top and a little bit zany. So a lot of that comes down to the performances.
Mm-hmm. So that was taken from life experience then. I had to wonder.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have an extensive career, 20 years, over 20 years of video production, and you've done some of your own writing and producing and directing films. So when did you decide you wanted to make movies? When did this happen, like in your life? Did you say, hey, I want
Yeah.
to make movies?
I could probably pinpoint the exact moment.
Oh, wow.
My uncle's been a creative director in advertising for as long as I can remember. And when I was about 8 years old, they shot a PSA for the Red Cross in my backyard. And they had a camera crane and the whole crew was out there, and all my friends from the street came down because they're like, what's happening at Clint's house? And I just remember being completely blown away and impressed by just the world of production. And whenever we'd get together for family events, my uncle would always bring over on a 3/4 inch videotape or Betamax tape. He'd come over with the latest commercial that his agency had produced, and I was just super impressed with that whole world.
Mhm.
And from that moment, just really wanted to be a part of it.
Oh, wow. So it was your uncle that inspired you to go down that path.
Yeah, yeah, it was. And for the longest, I wanted to kind of be in advertising, and so I started majoring in advertising when I got to college. But it was a lot more. There was a lot of, it was a very broad subject. So there's a lot of copywriting. There's art direction and all this stuff that I really didn't want to do. Like, I just wanted to focus on production and
Mhm.
making films and commercials and things like that. So I kind of narrowed my focus after that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like you shy away from, you have all different genres. I was looking at some of your on your
Yeah.
website. You've got horror there, and you've got drama, you've got comedy. It's are these like just to challenge yourself, or you just, hey, I'm gonna do this now, or
Yeah, exactly right. So whenever I'm making a film, I'm always trying to learn something new and try to get better at something.
Mhm.
So I did a very heavy crime drama in 2016 called Final Hit, but it was very sparse on dialogue. And so for my next films, I wanted to try and get better at writing dialogue. So I geared the films I wanted to make to things that I want to improve upon.
So okay, so I'm looking at some of your other stuff that you have done. We were talking about Big and Tall, which was about Bigfoot.
Hmm.
And that was a cute story. I really liked that. It was very positive, and I loved her determination in that.
Yeah.
Um, what was the inspiration?
Again, it was somewhat autobiographical. When I was a kid, I was about sixth grade, and my family moved to a new neighborhood, and it was a brand new subdivision. So there was lots of woods around where I lived. And I mean, I just loved getting outside with my friends and going off into the woods and playing imaginary games. And for Big and Tall, I wanted to kind of capture that spirit of imagination that all kids have to go off on some sort of adventure. And, whether it's find Bigfoot or find some hidden treasure or find something that's epic, and it kind of uh, has a little bit of a Goonies feel or a little bit of a Stranger Things feel to it. So that was the inspiration for that one.
So it seems like you take a lot of your life experiences and you take those and you put those towards your films in your writing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you have to, as a low budget short filmmaker, you're always having to write to your resources and kind of consider what's available to you. And I mean, everybody's got stories. There's a wealth of information and wealth of things that you can draw from, experiences that you can put into your films.
And you've won multiple awards, I see, on your films.
Yeah,
So,
I've been fortunate to get some recognition along the way, which has been great, and it's just kind of an encouragement to keep going, and it's also a great validation to all the hard work that my cast and crew put into on all of these projects.
mhm, right. And it inspires you, yes, to keep going and keep learning and
Yes.
keep ever
Yeah, just kind
forward.
of yeah. It's kind of like a golfer, that shoots terribly until like that last hole, and they finally get that perfect shot on the 18th hole, and then it just gives them enough courage to keep going. And so I think that's true for me and my short films. Get just enough, laurels and enough accolades to kind of keep going.
Right. Well, and your cinematography is very beautiful too. So
Thank you.
on I just sat down. I had to sit down on YouTube and just watch your stuff. I was just fascinated by
Thanks.
I'm very intrigued by cinematography. But um thank you so much for coming and sharing your
Yeah.
inspiration with us. I really appreciate it. We are looking forward to seeing your film. That is on Thursday, the 23rd, the Magnolia Independent Film Festival in Starkville, Mississippi. Be there or be square. Buy your tickets now.
Yes, absolutely, for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We want a big crowd. We want everyone to see these films. Well, we'll see you there. And until then, let's keep changing the world one story at a time. And again, Clint Till with the Milky Way. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.